Hey guys, it's Lindsay. We're going to do your fire sign reading for the month of May 2026. As always, if any of these messages don't align for you, please take only what you need and leave the rest. This is a group reading, so not every message is going to be for every person, and it's up to you to be discerning. Let's start with the general reading for fire signs in May 2026. And if any of these messages do align for you guys, please give me some feedback or comments or whatever, because I do like to hear feedback. And it's kind of like talking to a wall sometimes, but I will continue. I will continue. Wow, 3 of Swords. So it looks a lot of you have been through a recent heartbreak. You're going through separation, split, or you're just healing from a separation or split. So romance is coming in very big for you, and separation around romance in the month of May, fire signs. And if it's not specifically romance, it can also be feeling separated from yourself, right? So feeling separated from your own heart, feeling separated from that love connection, from loving yourself and having love, for who you are as a human being. And that is the other possibility here in this general reading for fire signs. Anything else for the general reading? I'm getting something around talking and or speaking. Yep. There we go. So there's this thing happening, fire signs, whether it is relationship related, this heartbreak, or you just, not finding love within yourself. You have gone into hermit mode and or shutdown mode, okay? And that's kind of how you're showing up energetically in the month of May, okay? So let's check in. Let's check in with Aries first and see what shows up. I did do the Aries birthday reading, so if you are an Aries, please check that out. It was like a birthday mini reading. And I also have the yearlies that I've done as well that are in the deep dive playlist. So if you want to know what's happening for the year, please check out those. Aries for May 2026. So you have a choice, Aries, right? You have a choice how you're going to move forward from whatever this emotion, this feeling is. And you are at that choosing point, 9 of Wands. Are you going to reignite love, passion in your own life? Or are you going to let this take you and pull you deeper into this kind of hermit mode? So I feel like for you, Aries, this is a pattern that you have around, feeling disconnected from yourself or feeling disconnected from other people, and especially around the heart region where you just kind of shut down. And so you're being given this opportunity. It is an opportunity to do something differently in this patterning, okay? To hold yourself differently, to love yourself differently as you move through this time, which can on many levels seem difficult, but can also be a blessing because you have the opportunity to choose how you respond, and that's what this is about. Have you learned and have you grown in the way that you respond to pain, right? So in the past, this is not only would you shut down, but you would have like this anger energy. You see how she shows up. How can you show up differently? And that doesn't mean to say like, fake being happy, bright, shiny, whatever. What it means to say is to hold yourself gently during this time, like with kid gloves, basically, okay? and just really be kind to yourself, okay? And I feel like sometimes you have difficulty being kind to yourself, Aries, because you have this like kind of like black and white thinkings, especially about yourself, right? About who you are. And so I want you to work on being kind to yourself and releasing your expectations of who you are at this time, okay? I also want you to kind of start showing the love to yourself that maybe, you were seeking from that other person if you were in a relationship, or the love to yourself that maybe you've never shown to yourself. So we have the Empress. This is where the evolution happens. This is where your edge happens, Aries, is you learning how to transmute this heavy, dense energy into something lighter, into something flowing, into something loving. It's very much, again, that focus on love. And I feel like part of it is you want love so bad, but you don't know how to show it to yourself, okay? So if you can't show it to yourself, Aries, how do you expect somebody else to show it to you, okay? You have to, it's like you are your own teacher, okay? So you teach yourself how you want to be loved, and then that's the type of love you receive, okay? So how do you want to be loved? And I always tell everyone, you know, treat yourself to a date. Treat yourself to whatever it is. Whatever you want somebody else to treat you to, you treat yourself, right? You talk to yourself the way you want to be talked to in a relationship. You show up for yourself monetarily the way you want to have someone show up for you and support you, all these things. And this is where it turns around for you. If you truly are able to change the patterning around love and how you love yourself, Aries, during the month of May, you are getting a full cup. You are getting a full emotional cup, and you are showing up, and you are feeling fulfilled in a way that you haven't felt in a very, very long time, because you are the one doing the fulfilling, okay? And then also later in the summer, there's coming through possibility of an actual romantic connection, but it's, again, you have to show up with the full cup of love first, Aries. You have to show up with that and really work towards that, and not work like hard. Like I know you're such a hard worker, and like you really put your all into it, and you think that pushing equals hard work. This hard work is not about pushing. This hard work is about loving, okay? Loving yourself even in the moments when it's difficult, okay? And that's really your May energy, Aries, okay? Let's go into Sagittarius and see what shows up with Sagittarius. I'm getting the talking with Sagittarius, because what were we talking about? Let's do the general reading. We're going to pull back into the general reading that we had for the fire signs. Circle back to that. And this is so funny because I just had a conversation with my Sagittarius friend. This is the talking. This is the reaching out to the former flames, right? This is the big thing coming in May, is circling back energy, okay, for Sagittarius. Circling back, circling over, circling back. I just keep seeing the spiral staircase on this. And why are we circling back, and what could that possibly fulfill for us, Sagittarius? What could that possibly fulfill for us, Sagittarius? There's this thing coming in that's like, you feel like even though it has been complete, this relationship, it's not complete, okay? It's almost like you want to tie it up in a pretty bow. I feel like you have this thing where you want to tie up all your relationships and tie them up in a pretty bow and put them in a box in your mind and be like, okay, now I feel it's done. And if it's not that pretty bow, if it's not in the box, then you feel like it's unfinished. And that's really what this is coming through, is like you feel like this relationship, this past relationship, is unfinished, and you can't put the bow on it, and you can't put the box away, and you're sitting with this open box and you don't know what to do with these remnants, right? Okay, I'm hearing water under the bridge. Water under the bridge. What's coming through is conversation would be water under the bridge at this time, right? Not necessarily in the way, for some of you, it doesn't seem necessarily it would detract, but the real question is, connecting with this person again, would it add to your current life experience? Okay? That's the real question. Would it add to your current life experience to connect with this person again? Let's see what other messaging we get through the Spirit. And, wow, okay, we're here. We're really doing it. The other thing, this reaching out and this need to put everything in a box with a tidy bow, the way that's coming in is directly related to patterning around childhood, okay? It's like something with, and specifically for some of you, I think it's coming through parents or guardians who would keep reconnecting with each other after they were supposedly finished, and you kind of observed this and taking that in subconsciously, okay? And the way this is coming in is fulfilling that child at this point is fulfilling your own cup. And I know you hate to hear me say that every time I say that. I know you hate to hear me say that. I keep filling my own cup. What are you talking about? Keep doing it. Keep doing it. Because if conversation is not going to add to your life experience right now, if reconnecting with this person is not going to add to your life experience, what is going to add to your life experience, Sagittarius? That is filling your own cup. And there's something else around not being able to move here. So we have the Chariot reverse, which is specifically movement. And I feel part of this needing to reconnect with this person is because you're feeling in a stuck place, either physically, mentally, or emotionally, where you feel like you're not having movement in other areas of your life to distract you. And so you're like, should I reach out? Right? Because in some ways that's a distraction from this fact, from this kind of non-movement thing that you're having here. So my thing that's coming in, it's like you are going to have movement very soon where you're going to be moving quite a bit, and you're not going to need that distraction. You're not going to need that conversation, but you got to get yourself through this period and continue just filling the cup, doing the work, and it is going to lighten up, and you are going to have things that are going to be filling your time, so you don't need to fill them with conversation from relationships that have already closed. Okay, so that is the reading for Sagittarius for May 2026. Let's go into Leo for May 2026. We'll pull these cards back. Leo, May 2026. You're looking for a lighthouse, Leo. I feel like the last relationship, or even friendships, it's not just relationships for this reading. It's romantic relationships, but also friendships, Leo. And it is about looking for a lighthouse. You are looking for a lighthouse in other people, okay? Because you've been feeling a little adrift in yourself, Leo. And it's like for a very long while, you've been feeling adrift in yourself, because you were always a go-getter, but for some reason in the past, I would say even the past year, you've been having this like drifting boat feeling where you're just lost, right? And yes, emotionally, especially emotionally. So it's kind of like when you start to get lost emotionally, Leo, you start to get lost in your life, right? You get that drifting feeling of not knowing where you're going, what direction you're taking. It's like being the fog in the storm and being the tiny little boat in the middle of the giant ocean. You have no idea. And what you've been doing is looking for a lighthouse. You see that little light right there? In other people. And you haven't found it, right? Because what's the lesson? You can't look for a lighthouse in other people, much like Sagittarius can't pull themselves out of feeling stuck with conversation. You can't pull yourself out of the fog through other people, because that's not grounded. You have to be the one to ground yourself. You have to make the decision. And I know once you make a decision, you make a decision and that's final. But you haven't been able to make the decision because you've been looking for lighthouses and all these people who, honestly, many of them, the way it's coming out, they have no idea who they are anyways. Okay, so how can they be your lighthouse if they don't know who they are, right? And you're pretty discerning in how you choose people most of the time, unless you are in this energy. Unless you're in this energy, Leo, you just start to latch on to the people who look good, right? Most of the time, you're going forward and you get at a good clip, and you have that discernment, unless you're in this energy again, and you'll just latch on, just like the way she hooked the birds. Just whoever's nearest to you, right? Okay, so, and I'm also getting like drowning man. So like emotionally, you've been drowning and you've been looking for someone to pull you out of that as well. And it's just not going to happen because you have to be the one to pull yourself out of that. You see how all of this, her light is going down a hole? That's literally what it feels like, Leo, okay? And I know you hate that too, just like Sag hates what I was telling them. I always pull myself out. Well, that's what we're here to do. We're here to, you know, learn about ourselves. And you're getting tired of pulling yourself out, Leo. I get it. I really, truly get it. I really, really, truly get it. And so, like, you're attaching to people who make you feel good. And that's what the big thing is. You're attaching to people who bring your light back and make you feel good, right? So what are we going to do about it? What's the message for May? What's the message for May? Not me almost breaking a nail. Wow. Let it go. Let it go. Whatever is holding you back, and I think for many of you, it's actually where you've been working. The way it's coming through, something specifically with work has been holding you to a specific place and tying you to a specific place. You're actually supposed to move from this job, okay? And that's when you get your light and you can see where you're going. The work energy, whatever the work environment is, it's tying you down and it's holding you back. And that's why you're not getting the movement forward that you thought you were going to in this job, okay? And for some of you, it actually might be the area you are in. You are not getting enough energetic movement in the area that you are living, okay? So I want to you're very good at making connections, okay? So make those connections that you need to find new living places or new workplaces and do what you do best, okay? Which is connecting with people, right? Because once you make that change, you're going to get out of this and you're not going to need to tie your boat to anybody, right? You're not going to need to find that lighthouse, Leo, because you have once again been your lighthouse, okay? So that's the messaging for May 2026. My name is Lindsey Rose. This is Storyteller Tarot. If you would like your own personal reading, please check out the links. Otherwise, I wish you guys well.